You guys truly need to reconsider the safety of your citizens.
Tonight at 6, Douglas County hears from people who'd prefer politicians step aside and let experts take the lead on public health.
Public health has been, I think, frankly, just pathetically unfairly attacked.
Meanwhile, an Aurora police officer is investigated for going without a mask. And a leader in COVID testing admits it is taking up to 3 times as long as before to get people their results.
We as parents we as guardians don't deserve this.
Plus, parents furious to learn their children's school is closed for good. The district says it's been a long time coming.
These concerns started back in October of 2019.
While other counties and cities are opting out, Jeffco is going all in and from here on out requiring everyone to wear a mask when they're in public and unable to maintain their distance.
The announcement came as Douglas County commissioners were getting an earful from constituents over their decision to part ways with the health department. Denver7's MEGHAN Lopez with that tonight. MEGHAN?
Yeah, Shannon, really this was just a precursor to what you can expect tomorrow night at the town hall that they're planning on hosting here once again. On the one hand, you had Douglas County commissioners defending and explaining their actions. And on the other hand, you had some pretty angry residents asking for them to really reconsider, both when it comes to that opt-out of the mask mandate, but also when it comes to leaving Tri-County Health.
Because we want to hear from everybody as much as we can.
For a business meeting at the Douglas County Commissioners Court,
this is nothing short of political grandstanding by our commissioners.
It was anything but business as usual. After commissioners decided to opt out of a mask mandate by Tri-County and leave the health department altogether, an earful.
I was extremely disappointed to see the political stunt.
I do not agree with the decision to not mandate wearing masks.
And I would like to say that what I've heard on the county commissioners discussed today seems nothing but politicalization of a public health issue.
Commissioners took time to explain their decision, saying they support wearing masks.
Listen, I am not against wearing a mask. I have a mask.
Just not mandating it.
We cannot allow the critical decisions that affect the liberties, freedoms, and livelihoods of Douglas County citizens to be left in the hands of unelected appointees.
We looked at numbers of cases.
Dr. John Douglas from Tri-County Health came up with the mask recommendations. He wanted to allow Douglas County to opt into the mask mandate, but was overruled by the board, so Douglas County had to opt out instead. He's surprised that things have gotten this ugly.
Honestly, I thought there was a minor difference between opt out and opt in.
And he says despite the fact that there isn't a mask mandate,
Douglas County is actually doing pretty good. Their rate of observational compliance in that sort of setting is about 75 to 80% or so.
But they'd like that number to be higher. Meanwhile, some,
it's dangerous, it's putting our lives and well-being of the community at risk,
are hoping the commissioners will change their minds about Tri-County.
I really hope
Ethan Reed is a high school senior in Parker who started a Change.org petition
that would basically urge our county commissioners to reconsider their actions on withdrawing.
It's gotten thousands of signatures, a divisive issue during an unprecedented time when everyone has an opinion.
Honestly, this pandemic has gotten surprisingly politicized.
So there's another wrinkle in this, and that's that individual cities and jurisdictions can choose to opt in or opt out. So Parker, for instance, is considering whether it wants to opt into a mask mandate. Obviously, that can cause a lot of confusion bouncing from city to city within the county and not knowing what the rules are. There's another town hall meeting tomorrow. Like I said, it's going to be at 4:30. And again, residents will have a chance to weigh in and commissioners will be listening. I'm live in Castle Rock. MEGHAN Lopez, Denver7.
MEGHAN, thank you for that. And Glendale and Castle Rock may vote to opt out of requiring masks tonight. And it'll be especially interesting to see how this is going to go in Glendale. Essentially a tiny village within a city. It can be hard to tell when you've crossed in and out of it from Denver. Aurora police right now are investigating one of their officers over this photo making the rounds on Reddit. APD officers are required to cover their faces while working with the public, and that doesn't appear to be what's happening here. This officer could face discipline if he is found to have violated the policy.
Another bad day for COVID here in Colorado. 378 people are in the hospital tonight. That's 45 more than yesterday and the most beds occupied since early June. 444 additional cases were reported today in all but 2 counties. Kiowa and Dolores have someone who has tested positive. Not the direction we wanted to be going in.
At least we're heading in that direction at a slow pace. As an expert told us today, it's much easier to address a problem when you have weeks to prepare for it instead of days.
If increases are happening very slowly. That gives us more time to respond, make sure the hospitals are ready, make sure people have PPE. What you really don't want is this, large increase in cases every day, or hospitalizations or deaths.
And our next big test is our handling of the 4th of July holiday weekend. We expect to start seeing its impact in the numbers in the coming day.
In the meantime, our testing capabilities are being tested. A few weeks ago, you could go to Pepsi Center for a free test and be the only car in line. Your results would be ready for review within 2 or 3 days. Well, tonight, testing giant LabCorp confirms the wait now averages between 4 and 6 days. Much of the blame rests on the mad dash for supplies in states like Arizona and Florida. Governor Polis says he's well aware of the issue and is working on stepping up efforts on the state level. And until then, extra precautions are called for.
Until you get your test results back to confirm that it's negative, act like you are contagious with coronavirus, because we can't afford to have you being able to go out and interact when we know that close to 5% of the folks tested are going to come back positive.
Hospitals appear to be handling this far better than the large-scale sites. The governor says those facilities are currently turning around results within a day or two. Evacuation orders lifted for some tonight in the Elephant Butte fire near Evergreen. Mother Nature played a part in that. It wasn't a drencher like crews might have been hoping for, but the temperature dropped and there was just enough drizzle to make conditions a bit more bearable. And the man-made tools had an even bigger impact.
There seems to be lots of air vehicles up there dropping a lot of water, and the slurry bombers, and a lot of people on the ground, so hopefully they'll have it under control.
No buildings have burned. Many families are still not being allowed to return to their homes. That fire right now is 25% contained.
Aurora Community Schools problems are well documented. Critically low enrollment, high staff turnover. Not exactly surprised that the district would then revoke its charter.
But parents say that's only half the story, and they told the other side to our Sloan Dickey.
This school means everything to me.
What is it that makes a school?
We love our kids here. That's what she told me. I said, we love our kids.
Well, you need a building.
It is built and our name is engraved on the outside with custom metal lettering.
But this building won't have students walking its hallways come the fall.
Watched the board meeting and was just as shocked and devastated to hear the unanimous vote to shut us down as everyone else was.
The brand new Aurora Community School was shut down in June by the Education Board before the doors even opened.
The last day of school picture right in front of this very window with his little sign, remember peering in the window, and I'm seeing the school come together.
The school, only a year old, had a rocky start. Without a building yet, teachers required to use a nearby hotel and church basement to gather.
There was one more inspection that stood in their way for opening these doors, and that was a fire department inspection.
The Board of Education revoked the school's charter after numerous deadlines were missed.
The problem was that they didn't communicate with the district about anything related to COVID, any hardships or burdens, and needing to extend their deadline.
Saying the decision to close the school is final.
Unfortunately, that's the decision that was made, and we are not in a position, the board is not in a position to reverse.
But there's one thing students learned at this school, and they'll continue to use it.
So we've been teaching kids how to advocate for themselves.
Speaking out as a new school year approaches.
And I think more important than where does the money go is where do these kids go? Where do these 300 children go?
Sloan Dickey.
I've lost a lot of faith in the system.
Denver7.
The police chief in Colorado Springs is now claiming at least 3 of his officers have quit over the newly signed accountability bill.
I just had a discussion today with one. Today's her last day, and she clearly said that part of the decision for her to retire was Senate Bill 217.
Chief Vince Niski is also concerned about the cost of outfitting every officer with a body camera. It's not so much buying them he's worried about. That's a one-time fee. It's storing the data. Colorado Springs already pays upwards of $500,000 a year just to store the footage.
Well, much has been made lately about Mount Evans and its namesake, John Evans, and it's worth talking about. But did you know that Humboldt Peak got its name from an explorer once described as the most famous man of his age other than Napoleon? Or that Challenger Point is a tribute to the space shuttle and it's a doomed crew. Well, Stephanie Butzer with our digital team just published a novella on all of Colorado's 14ers and their histories. Great read. Hope you take the time to do it. You can find it right now on thedenverchannel.com.